Cancer sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit a sign. The past, the now, the future, all intertwined. I'm here for your healing, your truth, your rebirth. Reading your stars, reminding your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Danyell, Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader, astrologer divine.
Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Welcome back. If you are old, welcome. If you are new, if you've been feeling like you've been on the edge of a massive breakthrough or maybe a massive breakdown, you are not imagining things. This week is very, very strong. Okay. We are looking at this week. January 14th is where I start to see the transits hit exact. And arguably, this might be one of the most pivotal weeks, especially when it comes to long-term energy and the rest of the year. We are transitioning from grounded, mountain, focused, climbing energy of the Capricorn. That visionary energy is where we're going to. Enlightening and the futuristic, same as visionary, Aquarius, all about communication and the intellect and the collective. We have a new moon in Capricorn this week. Mercury and Mars, they're teaming up in that boss energy, and literally there is an explosion with a bunch of trines to Uranus. This is a great week of unexpected surprises, a great week of intellect and communication. Also, to some intensity, because we have a strong Aquarius energy hitting Pluto too. So stay forward, stay tuned to look and see what we have. Before we even get started, I want to you guys to give me my flowers, okay? If you love astrology, if you love predictions, if you love tarot, if you love what I do here, then please give this video a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. This is not you paying me, but this is you acknowledging my hard work, okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, if you want more, I have free stuff. We'll start with the free stuff. The free stuff is that I have free tools down. You can learn how to read tarot. So click the link in the bio to my website. I have a free tool for that. Also, my newsletter. If you haven't joined my newsletter already, I would advise you to join. It helps me stay in touch with you. I do not trust the social media outlets with the subscribe button. They can boot me off any day, and if they boot me off, then I can tell you where I am newly placed or my new channel or whatever. This is just for safety because that is my Cancer sun. So go ahead and join my newsletter. The newsletter also for you, the free stuff that you get bonus tips on transits that we're having for this week. I give bonus tips on Uranus retrograding. It's affecting a lot of my Tauruses, okay? Far as unexpected surprises, that's my Taurus rising, my Taurus suns, my Taurus moon. I want you to know that because it's retrograding. It's about to close things up. Anyway, but I give you some bonus tips on that. But if you're not a Taurus, guess what? It has extra stuff. It has the weekly transits, and every week I give bonus tips and even sometimes a little bit more gems. So go ahead and join my newsletter, and then also too, you can refer to that as you go towards the week and don't have to watch the whole video or listen to the whole episode via podcast. Welcome. If you're listening to this via podcast, I'll try to explain everything that I'm showing visually. And so that is what we have. Oh, and what I have that will help me financially is if you join my private group. It's not like any other community, okay? So on this, every month and every time we change zodiac season, I give you bonus tips and days on when to make money, when to manifest, when to do stuff with a relationship. If you want to have a party, launch a business, I go on in special dates with that. Also, I do a lot of my conspiracy theories behind that paywall. I'm allowed to have kitchen talk and freedom. We've already broke down a lot of politicians, NASA, all those things are behind the paywall and more. All right. So let's get started on the dates, shall we? This is what we have January 14th. Mercury is going to oppose Jupiter on the 15th, which is my son's birthday and Martin Luther King's birthday. Venus is going to trine Uranus. Venus will enter Aquarius January 17th. Then the sun will trine Uranus. Mercury will conjunct Mars in the sign Capricorn. And all these Capricorn energies will start trining Uranus, which is very positive. On the 18th, I think that by the 18th, and even this whole week is going to be a great time to manifest and to put in work on what you want to do long term, especially when you have a Capricorn new moon, because that's what we have on the 18th. And then Mercury will also trine Uranus. So this is a great time to manifest and say it out loud and even write it down. On the 19th, we have the sun entering Aquarius. At the same time, we have Venus that's going to conjunct Pluto. Pluto is always very intense in transformation. Mars is going to trine Uranus officially on the 19th as well. Okay. So that is what we have. Let me show you this on the chart here. How is everyone doing? How was your week? I just want to go back and reflect that with astrology, we had Mars conjunct Venus here for this week, last week, and we had that with the full moon. A lot of emotions and a lot of not intensity, but aggression and moving fast when it comes to paying a lot of things. People are like, why did you buy that? What's going on? That's that Mars next to Venus. A lot of buying, a lot of aggression towards women. Yeah, just a lot of aggression towards your harmony and balance and trying to have harmony and balance as well. So that is what we have last week. This is new week, new energy. Okay. You know, I told my husband I've decided officially. Oh, let me scooch over. I told my husband I've decided officially Mondays, if you know astrology, every day is a different zodiac sign or a different ruled by a different planet. And Mondays is usually ruled by the moon and is a very Cancer day. If you know, then you know that Cancers are very moody. And usually on Mondays, it's like, oh, do I feel like what do I feel like on a Monday? You know, do I feel like going to work? I don't feel like going to work. Actually, I feel a little insecure, all that. Okay. Anyway, so I've decided to officially change that mindset, and Mondays are Capricorn days. So Mondays is very serious, structure, thinking long term, committing, being responsible. That's what I've decided, me personally. Okay. And of course, my husband's a Capricorn moon, so he loved that. He's like, yeah, that sounds great. He's not into astrology at all. He rolls his eyes, but then financially, he comes and asks me about astrology. So is he into astrology or is he not into astrology? Very interesting. Anyway, now let's talk about January 14th. Okay. Now that's on Wednesday. And I told you what we're leaving from. Now, just because I'm saying January 14th does not mean that we don't feel this on a Monday. Okay. Now, Mercury, because Mercury moves very fast, is opposing Jupiter. Jupiter, first of all, Mercury in Capricorn is very serious. It likes to get to the bottom line of things. It likes to focus. It's how do you build your career? How do you see yourself as your status and your success? And you are talking about things. Now, Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter, first of all, is retrograding. All the planets that are in red are retrograding. But Jupiter and the North and South Node, they retrograde all the time. They actually move backwards. Anyway, but Jupiter is all about expansion. In the sign Cancer is about your emotions. A lot of people are overly sensitive. There's a huge focus on home, heritage, inner security, your internal world. How do you feel safe? How do you feel nurtured? That is the overall. That's why you have a huge thing with ice this past week, because you have Cancer represents your home and your safety. A lot of redoing and repeating, and also too when the planets are retrograding, it's not working as its best, right? So Jupiter is very abundance. Whether you agree with ice or not, because you do have people who differ in that opinion. Some people believe in ice and some people don't believe in ice. I do want you to understand that the collective feeling is feeling insecure and feeling sensitive and a major themes of home. Okay. So that is what you have. Now, when you have this opposition, you can't see eye to eye. There's opposing energy. Hence why we had that Mars dealing with Jupiter before. Mars represents guns. I talked about this in a previous video. So go ahead, check out my last video. And I talked about the current events. Anyway, but this week now we are talking about Mercury in this opposition of Jupiter. So Mars is aggression and guns and weapons. Mercury is the power of word, intellect, analyzing, communication, a lot of social media. Mercury also is not just like communication. You're talking about your email, physical mail, also to your day-to-day travel. And then also you have pranks is what I want to say. People who are pranksters. So you could overly promise because this is an energy of overabundance, and this is wants to be very real. This is about a feeling. So over promising realistic things, and you felt like you can do it. Also, too, this is a career versus your home. This could be something again that we're revisiting and redoing because it is retrograding, but a lot of strains on communication. Yeah, just make sure you check your facts. Make sure you practice some self compassion because things are very sensitive. A lot of people are sensitive. Also, be nice to all our Capricorns and Cancers because they are feeling this the most. All of my cardinal signs, my Libras and my Aries, they may be feeling this a lot more this week than others. And when you have this energy in abundance, that means that people are overly sensitive. So just be aware that people are very sensitive. Okay, you will feel this most directly if you are a cardinal sign. A lot of reality check, a lot of issues with professionalism. Yeah, so just be aware of that. Let me see what else. But this really could work really well with all my water signs. And this works really well with all my earth signs. There's something productive happening with this abundance and this over promising. So there is that on a positive side. Now, January 15th, which is Martin Luther King's real birthday. And this is also my son's birthday. So I love my son. He's my favorite son. He's my only son. Shout out to the Capricorns energy. He is the reason why I love Capricorns because now I understand them. I gave birth to my son before I really got into the nits and gritties of astrology. I knew the stereotypes. Actually, I knew astrology a little bit more, but I just didn't do it personally. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Should do a video on that. But not really understanding my husband being a moon Capricorn. And also, too, I do want you to understand that whatever your sun sign is, you get that from your father. Whatever your moon sign is, you get that from your mother. Anyway, but my son is a Leo moon. So that puts a huge twist on that Capricorn energy, by the way. Okay, so let's get back into what we have January 15th, which is my son's birthday. That's why I got into it. Okay, so Venus, this is where the party gets positive, and we're already feeling this, so things are getting happy. Venus is going to trine Uranus. All of these planets that are in Capricorn, when they hit 27 degrees, will officially be trining Venus, but they are already in the scene. You're already feeling this. This is when it already starts, okay? But if we just stick on Venus alone, you're talking about breakthroughs in relationships. Makes me think of a social media relationship, and the girl was like, she did a lot of crazy things, and they just announced their divorce. This could be something that's affecting them, and this could be somewhat of a breakthrough. Let's see. I mean, that was that more Venus conjunct Mars kind of energy, but now there is going to be a breakthrough and some clarity, hopefully with them. But that's a long term, that's a whole different thing. But okay, also personally with us, everyone else, okay? Could be love and friendships. So could be some clarity with that. Maybe there's a feeling romantic. There's electricity, there's excitement, there's something new. Also, too, Venus represents your style, so there's an energy of style. Venus in Capricorn is very traditional. It likes long-term commitment. It likes financial security. It is about love, but you need to have a plan. There's beauty with a purpose. Now, Uranus retrograding in Taurus, and it's at the end of it, and a lot of people, like I said earlier, all the Tauruses are really feeling this more than ever. Stay strong. But there's also this focus on external change, internal change, not external, because it's retrograding. And also, it's about revisiting some old ideas that are about security, about banking, about what you deem valuable, about your tangible items, right? Now, the trine is very positive. You don't have to do any work. It's just going to land on your lap, okay? But not saying don't do the work because that Capricorn energy wants you to do the work. But yes, this could be an aha moment when it comes to your finances. This could be a refresh in relationships. The retrograde brings the twist, even though Uranus always brings their twist. But this could be something internal. This could be something that you did and now you're revisiting. This is something that could be maybe not a surprise because Uranus is a planet of surprises, but it's retrograding. So maybe it's not much of a surprise. This is something that's more in your face. Okay. So be aware of that. All my earth signs, you are blessed with this. Okay. So my Virgos, my Capricorns, my Tauruses, you guys are feeling this more than ever, and you are going to get an abundance in this. Now, when the full moon happens at Capricorn, the collective is really that is the time to really have that January 1st manifesting time. That's a great time to do a vision party, vision board party. That's a great time to manifest whatever it is. And it's not about vision with the pictures. It's more about writing it down and saying it out loud because Mercury will be involved. Okay. But anything that's very old school ways, this is a time to update it. So if you're someone who wants to transfer something onto the computer or anything that's dealing with futuristic, or maybe even learn AI or learn Canva or Photoshop, not pictures, but more something that deals with the future. Anything dealing with technology that you used to do traditionally, just updating the old system is going to work really great. This is a great time of investing in something that's of quality because that Venus and Capricorn loves the quality. This is a great time to commit to anything that's dealing with freedom, anything that's very out of the box, anything that's different, anything that's very futuristic. Pay attention to insights more this week because around the 18th is when you really want to push it. Okay. Now let's talk about the 17th when Venus leaves. Also, too, Venus in this Capricorn energy dealing with Uranus is also thinking about differently about your relationships, about how you have harmony, about being creative in art, even justice and fairness. Also, having some freedom. Maybe if you're doing something with law, having some freedom around there. Okay. Now they're serious about relationships and long-term relationships. That deadline starts to get really intense January 16th, and then on the 29th, on the 17th. Venus will officially enter Aquarius. Venus in Aquarius is very detached. It's very innovative, though. There's a lot of freedom loving, doing things that are very unconventional, especially when it comes to love. Venus is in charge of our social hour, not hour, but our socializing. So, parties, a lot of themes about Aquarius themes. So, futuristic parties. And again, you could be like, this is a day to have a vision board party because it thinks about the future and your hopes and dreams. Aquarius energy is about the people. It's also loving the collective and the underdog. Venus in Aquarius is also really being in love with the intellect. People who can communicate really well, who are very social, loving to be around people, loving to be around intellects and readers and communicators. Okay. Love gets less emotional and more intellect. There's a step back from patterns or being aware of patterns because you do have that intelligence part. Yes, having some unconventional connection and intellectual chemistry, very into networking. Into the government, because Aquarius represents the government too. Community building, finding your friendships or your people, or it's very interesting because Aquarius likes to be out of the box. At the same time, it wants to have a community. So there is that a lot of network and a lot of freedom. Okay, freedom, freedom, freedom. So a desire for space, independence, and being very authentic, attracting people who are very different, who are very eccentric, or who are very intellectually intelligent. Okay, questioning traditional relationships. Love and money decisions are more logical over any type of emotions. Aquarius energy is not emotional at all. Now, aesthetics, because Venus is about aesthetics, you're thinking more futuristic, you're thinking very out of the box, very creative. It makes me think of Andre 3000 back in the day when he used to come out with Outkast, more of that CeeLo Green kind of energy. But now, okay, so the aesthetics are very out of the box and different. For as relationships, you could be redefining relationships. There's less energy when it comes to boundaries and jealousy and clinginess and emotional manipulation. Those things are not the focus. It's more about conversations and unconventional dynamics. Okay. Money, spending money on technology, Spending money on gadgets or maybe a course on astrology because Aquarius represents space. Investing in ideas that are very innovative. Venus is a big part of our money. It's also about what we naturally attract, valuing freedom when it comes to anything, and you want your freedom over luxury. Could be a lot of minimalist kind of energy. Give people their space during this time while Venus is in Aquarius. Refrain from this is a great time to work with someone too, and collaborating with others and trying something new when it comes to dating and your love. Connecting with community, social media, a lot of that energy is what you get while Venus is in Aquarius. On the shadow side though, those are, I feel like, we're all positive things. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought that was positive. But on a shadow side, because remember I said detachment, emotions with relationships, it's not really the best, right? So a lot of coldness, a lot of avoiding, a lot of ghosting, a lot of over rationalizing, because it's all about the intellect. Aquarius is a very fixed sign. It's very stubborn when it comes to the intellect, when it comes to thought. So when you're within a relationship or when you're trying to have some harmony and peace, you could be very stubborn with the thought of something more than the actual feeling and thinking of others. Again, you could be attracting people who are very eccentric, and so it could be a little, things could get a little bit too weird. Okay, I'm questioning traditional relationship roles where sometimes traditions are best. Okay. Yes, and logic over emotions when it comes to love and money is a bigger thing. Okay, and valuing social causes over the relationship is also another big thing. Now, we'll talk about this Venus getting close to Pluto. I want you to understand. Okay, I want you to understand all these planets in Capricorn will be coming in Aquarius and getting close to Pluto. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I just want you to understand the energy of Venus being in Aquarius. Now, all my Leos will be feeling this more than ever while Venus is in Aquarius because this is opposing your signs. A lot of themes about relationships and romance and attracting maybe something different, and a lot of self expression, being out of the box and not seeing eye to eye with that. My Geminis and my Libras, you will be very blessed with this placement because this is an air trine. So you're going to be getting a lot of benefits while Venus is in Aquarius. Okay. And those are just any placements you have in Libra, or if you have a placement in, did I say Aries? In Gemini. I hope I said Gemini. All the air signs, you will benefit from this a lot. And yeah, Tauruses and Scorpios though, there's a challenge here when it comes to your relationship. So any Taurus placements, you might have a struggle. Not a might. There's a tension here because it will be squaring you guys, and the fixedness and change. It's like, I don't want this change. I don't want the future, and that's what this whole Aquarius energy wants to bring, some change, and there may be some stubbornness with that. Okay. Now, February 10th is when Venus will leave Aquarius and it will go into Pisces, which is very fitting because what happens February 14th? Valentine's Day. I have my heart earrings. I'm in early celebration. I was watching a lady on Instagram. She was like, ladies, now is your time to write your list, what you want for Valentine's Day, and send it to your booze. I just thought that was so funny. Anyway, but yeah, so Venus will enter Pisces. That's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that, but Pisces is all about the romance. Okay. So get ready for that. Yeah. And let me see. Oh, okay. Now, the same day, the sun. So I want you to understand, once Venus enters Aquarius, where things get a little weird, people are talking about the future, they're detached emotionally. That same day, the sun is exact with a surprise, okay? Something unexpected. This is strategic change. This is a quiet breakthrough. There is a highlight on airplanes, okay? There is a highlight on the intellect. There is a huge surprise coming our way in a very positive way, okay? Sun in Capricorn is very disciplined. It's very ambitious. It likes to focus on the tangible results. Okay, so Not just like, oh, I feel accomplished. No, where's the reward? Did I get money? Did I get an actual a physical award? What do I get? Do I get a house? Uranus and Taurus, again, internalizing things regarding the bank system, regarding money, regarding what you value, regarding traditions, your resources, your self-worth. Okay, again, a aha moment. There's a lot of problem solving when it comes to your career and what you your self-worth. There's authentic leadership. Again, technology and the ego goes hand in hand culturally as a collective, not culturally, as a collective. There could be some structural changes that actually stick. There could be something dealing with the economy here, but it's positive, hopefully for us. But if the government's working with it, it's positive for the government, because Capricorn does represent government. We work in systems tied to money, land, food, labor, and values. Innovative within traditional institutions, the government, corporations, CEOs, finance. Sudden insights about long term security. Again, it could be redoing something that we already know. It's a surprise, but is it a surprise? This is something we already know. Also, too, Capricorn could represent not just government, any type of old system, any type of a leader that maybe wants to adapt, because you have the sun involved that represents leader. A huge thing with your career, anything that you're to have a sense of purpose. You could be monetizing this, you could be making money. There's a smart career pivot. Yeah, building for something in the future. Again, great with money, great with resources. Okay, again, earth signs, I already told you you're going to feel this the best. Now, Mercury also to that day is conjunct Mars. So remember, just to recap what we have happening just that day. This will be feeling strong, right? Because you have this at 0 degrees, you're going to feel it. So you have the detachment of emotions when it comes to um, the collective and relationships. At the same time, there's a lot of futuristic and thinking about people and networking. So you have that energy, and then you have this energy of also things that are very out of the box, but it's going to work with the ego and what you're trying to drive and purpose. Now you have your drive, because these both are the drive here, the sun and Mars. But now you have your drive and your aggression, and it's conjunct Mercury. Now, conjunctions are very strong. They could be good or bad. I just want you to know that. But this happens right before the new moon, which is going to happen the next day. So we're already feeling it. Okay. Very strong Capricorn energy. You're talking about strategic speech. You're talking about mental force. You're talking about ruthless efficiency. I love Capricorn energy. I don't have earth element in my chart. So when it's out in the sky, when the vibe is out there, when God puts it out there, I'm like, give it to me. Let's take advantage of it, because now you're thinking of focusing, you're thinking of long term, you're thinking about consolidating, you're thinking about lists. You're able to organize, you're able to produce physical things. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, meaning that it's very disciplined, it's very efficient, it's very effective. And Mercury provides that blueprint there. 25 degrees is the Aries degree. So that means you're really trying to do it. You're really trying to pursue it. There's also some aggression there too. So be ready for that. It's very executive energy. Your thoughts and words becomes tools now, but you could be a little bit too assertive. Be aware, okay? Now, collective energy, aggression around political or policy discussions, hardline decisions from leaderships, businesses, the military. Mars represents the military and the government. Those conversations could be a little bit stronger or more out there, or maybe there's something in the news in a headline regarding the military. There could be some strategic leaks, because the sun highlights some things here and it's sitting close to the sun, or announcements or ultimatum. But there's no patience here, because it's trining Uranus. Whenever Uranus is involved, it's very fast, but a lot of blunt, commanding speech, less talking, more doing. Decisions are made quickly. Contracts, negotiations, plans are pushed forward, and increased debates or arguments or verbal or power struggles. This could be from a CEO. This could be from your boss. This could be from a mentor. This could be from an old man. I always say old man, but a older person or a mentor of some sort. Okay, a lot of career, high focus workday, executive long term decisions, making decisions about your career moves. A lot of confrontations with bosses or authority figures. Capricorn energy also represents the police or anyone in a uniform. So just be aware of that, that there's aggression in words with that. The aggression, Mercury and Mars together means like aggressive speech too, okay? Harsh words, verbal aggression, mental burnout, saying something irreversible, my way or the highway kind of energy. But on a positive side, you can speak with intentions. You can think before responding. Try that. Channel your anger into more strategy. Write it down. Take your time. Focus more instead of just blurting out things. Just write it down before saying anything that you don't want, that you regret. Okay. Handle confrontations professionally too, with no emotions. Also, is what you can get with this. But it's very decisive energy. Uranus is still trining, so you could be very impulsive. Whatever you're trying to do, save the draft, read it later. But I think that this is very positive on if you slow it down a little bit, because this is a great time. I would suggest everyone this whole week is to focus on your career. Write down what your goals are, and then not just write down what your goals are, but this is a time to plan how you want to achieve those goals. Focus your energy more on that. Don't focus on the government, the police, the authority figures are trying to limit me, because Capricorn does represent limitations and delays and hard lessons and karma. You want to learn the lessons and you want to use that energy and focus onto the positive. How can you be more productive and increase your goals, improve your goals? Well, that's not the words I want to use. Improve, increase, just achieve your goals. Okay. Now, here we are, the big day. Now, this is January 18th, and we have Mercury is now trining. Just scooch it over. Mercury moves fast. But Mercury now is trining Uranus. There it is, right? Mercury trines Uranus around 2 p.m. When it trines Uranus, the energy is moving so fast. If you are flying that day, I could only imagine your flight is probably going to go so smooth. But Mercury in Capricorn wants structure, logic. It wants a return of the investment. Okay. For every thought, for every word, it wants some tangible results. Uranus retrograding in Taurus again, revolutionizing what you can handle with physical matters and with your money and your personal value. And they're working hand in hand. They're very positive energy. Great day for thinking, manifesting, writing down. I don't know how many times I can say that. If you have a software, if you have any systems, and you hate to manually do the task, it's going to work this day. Okay. Take the time out to transfer one thing into the other or to learn a new app. Anything dealing with financial strategy, this is just positive. Okay. You might discover like a loophole. You might find a smarter way to improve your assets. Communication breakthroughs, able to explain something that was more radical and people understand. Again, we are dealing with a retrograde, so this is something that's already repeated. Are we doing, are you remembering, or something that failed before is maybe not going to fail now. Okay. It's a retool, it's a redoing, it's a repeating, it's a remembering. It's a re-saying. Okay. Again, write everything down. Think before you do. And lean. Capricorn likes to be very lean because it likes to be very efficient. So this is a great time to get rid of the the noise and to focus. All right. And update any type of technology, especially when it comes to your career. Remember, all of these planets are trining Uranus. So it's very, very positive with any type of surprises or thinking outside of the box or anything intellectual. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Hi, Danyell. Great seeing you live. Thank you, Sandra. I'm so happy you come every week and you're very consistent. It is nice to see you as well. Okay, so now let's talk about this Capricorn moon. The Capricorn moon happens at 28 degrees. Let me actually put what we have here. Capricorn moon, yes, 28 degrees. And next to the Capricorn moon is Mercury, and next to it is Mars. Okay. So all these things affect the Capricorn moon. The ruler of the Capricorn moon, new moon, is going to be Saturn. So let's see what Saturn is doing. It's sitting next to Neptune. This could be positive or negative, a lot of compassion or a lot of lost in the sauce kind of energy. But I think that this Capricorn energy is going to be positive. It's sextile. Sextile, a lot of astrologers don't really like to talk about sextiles, but sextiles is energy that God put in the sky, but you have to do the work. And that Capricorn energy is all about work. Okay. Now we got Mars here. So I believe it's going to be some work. And then we have Uranus working with us. So I believe this is going to be very positive. Okay. So let me go over everything. Oh, also too, this is a minor grand trine. If you see this triangle, that's amazing. That's great. Capricorn is the executive. Mars has the drive. Mercury is the planning. Saturn is the authority. Neptune is the vision and the creativity. Uranus is like, what is the future? What is the intellect? So this is all working together. So this is really positive. First of all, we have this conjunction. So thinking and adding a drive to it. So you're talking about signing some contracts. Orders are being given. There's strategies and they're being announced. Again, military, again, authority and corporate people. There's some moves going on with them. Just so you can know, just outside of our personal world, that's what we have collectively. But there's also sharp messaging with long-term intent. Say it then do it kind of energy is what you get with that. Now because the ruler of this new moon is Saturn and it's sitting next to Neptune, it's sextile our new moon. And sextiling means that all your dreams, all your manifestation, all your spiritual beliefs, all your faith, all that can really work well with all the long-term energy. Okay. Laws around healthcare, borders, religion, water, oil, or refugees, all that could be a big thing that could manifest around this new moon. Personally, this is when your faith starts to have some regulation. This is when your spiritual beliefs gets, you make your dreams a reality kind of energy. This is also spiritual beliefs gets institutionalized. A lot of ideology, has some policies. A lot of dreams become structured, becomes more tangible. Saturn is the ruler of the new moon. It is very visionary, sitting next to that Neptune. Also, there could be some magic involved here. Magic meets the logic kind of energy. Yeah, but very positive. The sextile to the new moon is a great pairing. It suggests hard work that actually starts to have a purpose. There's a spiritual purpose. You start to feel the faith. You have compassion, or maybe you're being really creative. Okay. You do have the trine here at the same time, and that trine is going to give us the intellect, thinking outside of the box, moving fast, being impulsive. Yeah, and also to a breakthrough of some sorts, right? Let me see what else. Economic shifts, food, land, currency, maybe tech and money could be integrated at the same time. Sudden but controlled pivots. Pre-planned, behind the scenes, long term. No, I don't know why I have that. Maybe the Neptune. The Neptune is a little, this energy brings things that are very behind scenes to the forefront as well. Okay. Yeah. So get ready for that. As a collective, there could be something with the economy here in the government, and it could be doing something secretly. Okay. Just letting you know that. Now, for us personally, okay, again, this is the week of focusing on your career. If you don't have a career, what is your image? What is your reputation? What are your long-term goals? And what is something that you've been dealing with that needs a intense focus? Okay. So you do have that career restructuring, long-term business plans, authority roles, financial systems, discipline-based goals. Could also be like if you want to work out. Yeah, you can, whatever you want to commit to, you can build it. Yeah, you take authority over your time. This is all about time, father time. Yeah, and executing the vision there. Okay. So that is what we have for the new moon. Oh, 28 degrees too, I want to say, because I find that the degrees really work with the new moon. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 degrees is a Cancer degree. So this is something that could be dealing with your mom, something that could be dealing with safety, something that you are dealing with your past or your heritage. That is also connected with this new moon. Okay. So personal safety, emotions, all that is connected with this new moon. Okay. I'm excited for this new moon, you guys. Let's see what happens. You guys put in your stories and tell me what actually happened, because I know that this is really going to manifest in some positive energy. Now, one thing that is very interesting that will happen this week, and I talked about this earlier. Not only do we have this new moon, but there is a strong intensity energy here. We have Pluto sitting next to that Venus. Okay. Also, too, on the 18th, after the new moon, the sun will leave Capricorn. So it'll be a urgency to shut things and end things when it comes to your career and your public image and everything that I mentioned earlier. And then that will enter on the 20th and the 19th, it will enter Aquarius. It will be very strong. Okay. So not only do you have Venus sitting next to Pluto, now you have the sun adding some intensity, and you have Mercury here. I do believe going into next week or maybe this weekend, we will get some big news in the headlines. Okay. So after we have our beautiful new moon, then there is some intensities. The sun highlights everything. And also, too, I want to say happy solar return to all my Aquarius. No, my daughter is an Aquarius, so we got a lot going on for us in our household. Anyway, but I do want you to know this is at 0 degrees. Something's going to come out in the media. There is a Kazemi here. There will be some news regarding something that's very disruptive or collective or rebelling. People want to rebel, or maybe this is the start of a strike. Yeah, this is about the power to the people, the future, a lot of AI technology. Okay. Now you have a huge intensity. Pluto makes everything it touches intense. Also, too, it represents things that are very mysterious. So there could be some secrets that are leaked in regards to anything that deals with maybe even the government in our future, or the collective, or the people. Deep transformation. Also, too, power struggles. Okay, intense power. Remember when Mars moves closer in 0 degrees, that would be more intense too. Stay home. I would suggest, especially on my Aquarius. But that Pluto, this is like the beginning of this, because Pluto has been not in Aquarius that long, and now it's Aquarius season. So we're going to be experiencing this every year, but now we're like really getting into it. Okay. So a lot of transformation, a lot of evolving, a lot of sudden shifts in I just think the collective. Okay, you know how we had what is that, when people were at the schools and they were against Hamas, uh and they were protesting at the school and they were setting fires and stuff like that. We could be getting something like that. Okay. I don't know. I know ice has been a big thing, but there could be something like that. Also, too, Aquarius energy, especially when Mars comes into the picture. But I also, too, want you to understand that Aquarius energy is about the people. It's about the future. It's about the underdog. It's about a collective thought that doesn't want to be changed again. But that is not what I was going to say. I was going to say something else about Aquarius, and it was on the top of my tongue, and I can't. Also, is about technology. So there could be something very strong, like we could be finding something out about AI, like AI is taking over, or maybe it could be positive. Conjunctions are not just negative, but I just know they're very strong, or they could be both, right? So there could be some breakthrough in technology, or something with social media, or new rules around digital or surveillance, or networks, or something dealing with technology or communication. But major power. This likes to be obsessed with power. This is a leader of power. Death of a leader, as well as what this represents. But we will be getting this every time it's Aquarius season. Yeah, and I would think that would be more if we have an Aquarius eclipse coming up. We have one February 17th. So this could be a death of a leader. Just so you know, on the shadow side, emotional detachment, cold logic overriding empathy, us versus them mentally. Again, a disconnection, because you want your independence, is what you get there too. Okay. Yeah. So let me see if I have anything else with my. Oh, did I talk about Venus conjunct? Pluto, I don't know. I did say it's transformation. Venus represents love, money, values, pleasure, being diplomatic, fairness. And that Pluto is power, destruction, transformation, rebirth, a lot of exposure of the secrets, things that are very hidden. Again, this is dealing with technology, rebellion, and networks as well. Okay. So get ready for that. That is what we have. So, we have a lot of strong energy. And then at the end, we do have a lot of intensity for this week. So get ready. Do not say I did not warn you guys about the week. I'm going to pull some cards and see what we have for this week. I have my winter deck here. I have so many tarot cards and I just keep using the same ones. But here we are. We're trying something new because we're entering Aquarius season. Okay. So let's see what we have here. This week is a week of walking away from what no longer serves you. Okay, you will be cutting that out. We have the five. So the first one is the Eight of Cups, and now we have the Six of Swords. There is a transition, mentally a transition, walking away from what no longer serves you in a mental transition. You're going into calm waters. You're not bringing a baggage. So that emotional detachment might be great for a lot of people. We have the Eight of Wands, a lot of movement. This week is going to move very fast for the collective. We have the Nine of Wands. This is a fire energy, and this is about staying strong, be passionate, be brave, be courageous. Do not let go. That is that very Aquarius energy. Do not let go. You want to stand guard. You don't want to give up. And you want to be physically courageous, because this is usually an energy that's wounded, but physically courageous. I don't see any major arcanas for us personally. So that's great. Nothing too big happening, but a lot of movement. Things are moving fast for us who are here. Let's see what else we have. Your important information improves and uplifts our awareness. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. So sweet. Good news for Iran and Venezuela. I'm going to have to look at that. I know, too, there was something I thought with a U-Haul. I don't know. I briefly looked at it. But yes, I wonder what the good news is. What is the good news for Iran and Venezuela? And also, too, now I have Venezuela's chart, so I need to look at that chart. I need to look at Iran. I think I have their chart, and we'll look at that. I have to do that in another video because not everyone cares about politics. Now, what do we have for the collective? Because that was an individual thing. For the collective this week, finances, everyone needs to save. That's that very Capricorn energy. Everyone needs to think practical, save money. A lot of lack energy for the collective. A lot of people feel like they don't have enough. So we have the Four of Pentacles, and now we have the Five of Pentacles. Is this is in order? Okay. So we have the Five of Pentacles, but I want you to understand the Four of Pentacles is thinking about saving all the tangible things. And then even with your saving, there's a lot of lack of resources. We already know that going on around the world. There needs to be giving and receiving, charitable energy. So financially, as a group, as a collective, and this deck needs to be shuffled. As a collective, there needs to be energy. There will be something dealing with the economy this week. With that Uranus and Taurus, that's not a shock. Something with the bank, something with dealing with finances, give and take. Maybe this could be something with the tariffs. Also to lack of resources. So everyone needs to save their resources. I'm gonna pull one more card since it was so there's anxiety as a collective. Okay, so people are losing sleep, a lot of anxiety, a lot of negativity. We have the Nine of Swords, mental game here for the collective, not us individually, not us watching. I already explained our week. Our week is transition and walking away from things that no longer serve us. Things are going to be moving fast. But on a collective way, on a collective level, there is something that's dealing with a lot of resources, tangible things like the home, the body, the food, the land. It's like someone wants to hold on to it, or the government or the banks, but a lot of lack with the resources, and it's causing a lot of anxiety for the collective. All right. So that is what we have for this week, you guys. Next video is I'm going to try to stay consistent with doing the current events, and then also throwing some bonus videos of learning astrology and tarot. Okay. If there's anything you're interested in, you want me to show, go ahead, put the suggestions down, and if not, just put an emoji down for some love. All right. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.